your beard. What do you want to talk on?
It's a bit fruity, isn't it? Talking publicly about another man's beard and...
You tried to say I look 50, mate. I'm happy with the way I look. What have you had done to your hair?
I don't know. You know,
come on, just tell them.
You're asking me if I'm gay, you're asking me about my beard and my hair, you know, it's...
Because we're sitting here talking
at
the press conference, so
I mean,
just tell them. Stop using the bollocks of everyone.
You know,
your barber tattooed your hair.
I don't know. If
your barber tattoo your hair.
If you want to get personal with it, if you want to get dark and personal with it, you know, talking about being gay and do I like girls, you know, I've been told by multiple sources that you cheat on your wife on the occasion, every occasion, you know, so Chris,
you've got a tattoo there, man, and
let's just relax.
Did you beard a transplant?
I'd rather be gay than a cheat. How about that?
You haven't got a missus to cheat on.
Look at Callum. Look at Sniffler.
One thing I would say, guys, is there's a line and there's below that line.
Did you beard a transplant?
I'd rather be gay than a cheat. How about that?
You haven't got a missus to cheat on.
Look at Sniffler.
Exactly.
One thing I would say, guys, is there's a line and there's below that line.
Well, no, there's no lines anymore. We're talking about, you know...
Let's just try and keep...
We're here now, let's do it.
You know, maybe everybody can see hit reverse and come out of this and go back to the fight.
Even with the titles, what was it, the IBOs? You're a fraud.
Lines have been thrown out.
Let's just take a sec here, guys.
He looks pressed, look at him, look. He's feeling it hard.
To quote you, have some parliamentary procedure. Let's just sum this up now.
Look at Schlong.
Chris,
Schlong's feeling it as well.
Chris, just to go back to that question, if you fight him or you box him, ultimately does it matter to you? Do you believe that you win either way? After what's happened today, do you want to make this a statement and win this fight by knockout?
I've always wanted to win this fight by knockout. The fact that, you know...
What's good, family? It's your man, the YB, back once again. Oh, man. It's all kicking off right now between Chris Eubank Jr. and Liam Beefy, marinated, seasoned, smelling ass Smith. He gonna get... Listen, Team Lighty right now. Your man, the YB, got a whole bunch of coins on Chris Eubank. You best believe it as well. I've been tweeting Eubank hard and I've been telling him, listen... You must do this one. Don't go outside like the other fight. What fight was it? To be fair, when he fought Billy Joe Sausages, he was alright. Started too late. But the George Groves fight, that was whack. No good. But to be fair, he's made some good improvements since then. Back in them George Groves days, he was just messy with it. Trust me, when he came out last time, if Eubank was still messy, there's no way I'd back him. But the way he ended up boxing Liam Chiniums, yeah? Liam Chiniums looked silly in that fight. Just getting clipped everywhere, falling all over the floor, yeah? All over the floor looking ass. So, Eubank's clean. He can box. And I actually believe Roy Jones has added value to him. It's not often. Often these celebrity coaches, yeah, they're no good. But Eubank is improved. People said for years he can't box. Well, that Chiniums fight, I mean, I'm not someone... I prefer the whole... Mike Tyson, Canelo kind of shtick. But as far as, I mean, that was, people can laugh and whatever else, but the way Tyson Fury used to box, yeah, people used to suck Tyson Fury off for the things, I mean, when Fury fought Chisora in 2014, or Fury fought Vlad, yeah, the masses topped off Tyson Fury. Eubank did a similar job against Chiniums, and in fact, he actually scored knockdowns. When Tyson Fury used to run around here, he weren't scoring no knockdowns. But people, he's the best boxer ever, so I'm going to give Eubank his credit. Again, it's not my favourite style, but as far as that boring ass winning, just doing enough to win a fight style goes, I think he's nailed it. I mean, again, look at the similar kind of shtick. That whole Tyson Fury running around the place shtick. Again, not my favourite, but when it comes to coins, I'm not in here for favourites. I'm here to make coins. And I believe Beefy Smith, he is more or less, I'd say, yeah, he's a better version than Liam Chiniums. But I'm pretty sure, didn't Liam Chiniums and Liam Smith, they had a fight. And it was close, I believe. I think it was a split decision. So, that in itself, Liam Chiniums fought Liam Smith and it was a close fight. And we saw how not close it was between Eubank and Chiniums. Now people were saying, Liam Chiniums, there was problems wrong. I ain't trying to hear all that. Eubank, too big, too strong, too athletic, and I believe he would have gotten better under Roy Jones Jr. as well. because he's already made leaps. I didn't expect him to go in there and whatever else, and I think Eubank's got no shame. I mean, during that Liam Gilliam's fight, I was angry he wasn't getting stuck in. But what that shows is he ain't got no shame. And I advise him not to get stuck in, because, yeah, Liam Smith ain't the biggest puncher, but I do respect Liam Smith's a solid dude, tight guard, but I think it's actually Liam Smith's style is what's going to lose him this fight. Yeah, that hunched over, elbows in, chin down style. Eubank's new way of boxing, he can do that all day, do you understand? When you're your elbows in, your chin down, and you're wading forward, unless you've got that Canelo kind of pop that can really turn Eubank off, I can see Eubank dancing all night and just outboxing this guy. That's what I can see happening, truth be known. Too big, too strong, essentially. Too big, too strong, and running around the place. Now, if Eubank stands and trades with Smith, then he's fighting Smith's fight. Eubank ain't stupid. But I think towards the end of the fight, and I'm not too sure how good is Liam Smith's gas tank. I think Liam Smith, yeah, is a solid guy. I think his gas tank's alright, in all fairness. But that's how I see the fight going. I see it. I don't see the stoppage, because whatever you say about Chiniums, his chops is alright. He's not chinless. Yeah, he's alright. So Canelo, I believe, finished him with a body shot, which I find ironic, because Smith keeps slagging off Eubank. Oh, I got you to the body in sparring. I'm thinking, Canelo folded you like a cheap deck chair in a fight, kind of thing. But yeah, Eubank ain't no Canelo. That's one thing. But apparently Roy Jones has been trying to work on that. Roy Jones said in one of his recent things, I don't like fighters who slap. And that is one thing I have, one of my criticisms of Eubank in the past. I mean, not just Eubank, but anyone, yeah, you see on the pads or the pads is throwing a whole load of shots. You know, Eubank used to kind of brag about how many shots he can throw in 10 seconds or whatever. If you can throw a bunch of shots in 10 seconds, 9 times out of 10, you're slapping. Do you know what I'm saying? 9 times out of 10, like for example, you won't see Canelo on the pads just slapping around the place. And yeah, does Canelo have the biggest heart? No, but Canelo does not. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and give people credit for things they ain't got. But as far as digging goes, in the last 10 years in boxing, I'm struggling. Who would you put above single punch digging? It's Canelo all day. Yeah, and you ain't going to see Canelo doing 100 slaps. And that's my criticism of Eubank. Eubank, I mean, he, in the past, he does slap a bit. But, slap or no slap. And that is something I will give Beefy credit for. Yeah, Mr. Marinated Beefy, Mr. Seasoned Beefy. He has got a little bit of a dig, but it hasn't really translated much. How many guys has he smoked? So his technique's pretty solid, but it's not translating into anything worthwhile, if that makes sense. He lost a fight recently against a guy, what's his name? Magnomedov. He actually beat him. I watched that fight. Liam Smith beat Magnomedov. So this ain't no scrub fight, but I think Smith's coming up weight. That's not going to help. Eubank, people are saying, Eubank's struggling at the weight. And that may have worried me for a minute, but the reason it didn't was because Eubank was at 168, and he actually said, I'm coming back down because I didn't feel as pound for pound as powerful at 168, which does make sense. And that's one thing we do forget. We all laugh at him for losing to Groves, but he's not a 168 pounder. And Groves, he was really a 170 pounder. Groves for years was struggling to make 168. That was a big narrative for a long time of him struggling to make 168. So Groves was a huge 168 pounder, and Eubank was Eubank's 33 years old and he's at 160. Eubank's got the money. Eubank's in the kind of situation, yeah, he could have said to Liam Smith, if Eubank wanted to, he could have said to Liam Smith, we're going to do this at 165, for example. Do you know what I'm saying? Liam Smith's not bringing nothing to the table, or no cards in that sense. Eubank's the name. Eubank's the one who wanted it at 160. He could have easily said 168, if that's what he wanted to do. So that's where Eubank's the strongest. Now, Beefy Smith coming up, it's only going to benefit him, but the fact of the matter is smaller. Eubank couldn't make 154 at no time. Do you understand? And I think Eubank's too athletic. I believe Beefy Smith's older as well, and he's more shot worn. He's been worn out, and Eubank, whatever you say about Eubank, he's never been worn out in that sense. You've never seen Eubank, even when he's lost to people, I mean, I don't even count I think he won the Billy Joe fight, truth be known. I think he won that fight, but who's he lost to? Yeah, he lost to Billy Joe, and is it Groves? Is that it? So yeah, even the Groves fight, when he lost the Groves fight, he wasn't worn out, was he? George Groves didn't have a go on him in that sense. Whereas Liam Smith, I've seen people have a go. Canelo had a go on Liam Smith, as a fact. Had a go on him, had a good go on him as well. Yeah? So, he's more worn out. But it should be, I think it'll be a good fight. I don't think no stoppage is going to happen. I think that's a good bet as well. But the last time I said that was who was that clown? What's the guy? John Ryder versus some Muppet. John Ryder versus some Muppet. I thought, yeah, that's solid. That's a solid fight. My man, hook my hand. Get this guy out of it. Clown. But this fight should go distance. I think Liam Smith, he's got too much shame to be stopped. And there's no Eubank's too solid. Eubank's solid. Eubank's been in there with big people like George Groves and they've had no problems. I've never seen Eubank really troubled. And Smith himself ain't got a bad chops either, but yeah, listen man, Eubank's the guy, man, on this one. Eubank, stay disciplined. Team Lighty till the wheels fall off. Please don't lose your man Nawabi's coins. Your man Nawabi got much bills to pay. This one must come in 100%. I've got money on Riakpour, Eubank, and Joe Parker. Joe Parker's come in nice and light. That was my worry. I worried if Joe Parker came in even heavier, I was nervous, but Joe Parker's come down 10 pounds. That's a lot of weight. And Joe Parker's best around 240 to 245, so I'm happy with that. And he's also outweighing his opponent by like 20 pounds. That's perfect. Because when you're outweighing someone 20 pounds, and Jack Massey, he wasn't a big puncher at cruiserweight. Never mind coming up a weight. And Joe Parker, Joe Joyce is a whole nother level. But apart from Joe Joyce is probably the only person in heavyweight division. Maybe Wilder, but Joe Joyce is probably the only person in heavyweight division who can stop Joe Parker. Joe Parker, otherwise, Dillian White can't do nothing with him. AJ can't do nothing with him. So, if them man big heavyweights can't do nothing, I can't see Jack Massey doing nothing. Especially now Joe Parker's at 240 and he's not going to be running out of gas so quickly. I think I can see Parker getting a stoppage, but on that one, I think Parker gets the nod in the end. Unanimous decision. That's what I see for that one. Because Jack Massey said, I've never been put down. But in all fairness to Joe Parker's team, his team have been working on being more ferocious. And that's one thing I have to give him a lot of credit for in that Joe Joyce fight. Joe Parker didn't, for example, Joe Parker for a long time was a bit of a scary dude. Yeah, when Joe Parker fought AJ, he fought scared. I gave Andy Lee a lot of respect because when Joe Parker turned up against Joe Joyce, he actually put it on him. Joe Parker wasn't there to make the numbers up. I thought, okay, Joe Parker's fighting a big man like AJ, is going to go in there and just try to survive. He actually went in there to win, and I respect that. Joe Parker went out on his back, which tells me it's going to take something special from Jack. You know what I mean? If Joe Parker's prepared, to get knocked out by Joe Joyce, that's the only way Jack Massey will win. Jack Massey will have to put on a Joe Joyce performance to win. He'll have to literally knock Joe Parker out because whatever Andy Lee's been doing, Joe Parker's willing to go there. He wasn't willing to go there before. The old Joe Parker, I would never bet any money on because he just turned up. You know what I mean? He didn't really want it, but the way he fought Joe Joyce, I have to salute him. He fought to win. He didn't leave anything. Joe Parker can't leave. Well, Joe Parker can't have no regrets about that fight. He might have regrets about his preparation or his tactics, but he can't regret. There's no way Joe Parker can say I coulda, woulda, shoulda. He left it all in there. It was all the chips in. And if Joe Parker turns up and puts all of his chips in, Jack Massey got no chance. Too big, too strong. Here's another one. I looked at the weigh-ins as well. I mean, again, was it 20, 15 pounds? 15, 20 pounds and Parker wasn't soft. In that Joe Joyce fight, he was soft. We're talking Parker's 15, 20 pounds heavier, and it's proper weight, not just flabby weight. He's just a thicker man. And that just, we know the old cliche, bigger dudes and whatever else. But yeah, it's an interesting card actually. One thing I will say before I go is that I do worry about this whole Ben Shalom thing. Yeah, you man remember the last time me and Ben Shalom didn't get along was the whole Clarissa Shields fight. And now Liam Smith, he is the ace, or he is the Sky Fighter, I believe. Eubank's with Calla Snifferland. Here, this cat here. Snifferland. So I do worry a bit if it goes to the cards. Yeah, and we know Ben Shalong's from a certain type of dons. I ain't gonna say no 100%. Yeah, Ben Shalong's with a certain set of dons, and when they 100%. Yeah, when they put the word in, it's a wrap. It's a wrap for you. So I don't know. That's the only thing that worries me. I'm worried about if it's, let's say Eubank wins 8 rounds to 4. That's what I'm worried about. Even though Eubank clearly won, unless Eubank wipes the floor with him, I'm worried about one of them ones. Yeah, I'm worried about one of them Kabbalah ones. One of them Ben Shalong Don Kabbalah ones. That's the only worry I've got. If it's a fair judge, Eubank win hands down. And that's why part of me hopes that Eubank gets a few knockdowns, but I just don't. I think Beefy's no muppet. Yeah, seasoned Beefy ain't no Trump. Anyway, before I go, actually, let me address the whole allegations. And I do have to say, Liam Smith, he got what he was asking for on this one. Yeah, and that's what the people say. Listen, I told people the other day, if you don't want something, don't go looking for it. That was it, Dana's wife. That's it, women and Dana's wife. If you don't want it, don't go looking for it. Yeah, the same way I tell women and men, if you don't want to be physical, don't get physical. If you lick someone, then expect to be. That should be the standard. Now, Liam Smith, yeah, I ain't got a problem with it. Talk your talk. But what I didn't respect was Liam Smith. He was all in the video. Oh yeah, you're a chichi. Yeah, you like the man, and 100%. You get your back blown out in the Saudi. That's what he was saying. Liam Smith said, "Oh, I've heard Chris Eubank gets flown out to some next zesty Saudi donny, and he get his dinner pushed in," and he was talking all them kind of bars. And then Chris, yeah, he kept taking it and taking it and taking it. And then he said about the hair, oh, your hairline's drawn on, and you got a tattooed hairline. I thought, well, your Barnett's tattooed off, not the tattooed Barnett. That was a low blow. Anyway, Beefy, yeah, he kept giving it, and he was all kind of like feeling himself. And Eubank pulled out the demolition. Yeah, he pulled out the Hiroshima Nagasaki card. And then all of a sudden, look at my man's face here, look at Liam. All of a sudden, it's like, oh! And then, that wasn't the worst bit. The worst bit was, IFL TV then did an interview on it, and Liam starts saying, oh, that was a bit unfair, and oh, it's a bit below the belt, and oh, you brought the family. I thought, what? With all due respect, he didn't bring your family into it. He said, you are a dirty cheat. He didn't say for example, bringing family would have been, I've heard your missus. You know what I'm saying? That would be a bit out of order, saying your missus is playing away. He didn't say that. He said you. Yeah? He said you, 100%. You've been dipping your wick in some next chick. Yeah? You got a dirty wick, 100%. Listen, Chris Eubank said nothing about your wife. He said you, Liam Smith, have got a wandering wick. How about that? Yeah? You got a wandering wick, 100%. Your wick goes wandering off into places it shouldn't be. That's what Chris Eubank alleged. Nothing to do with your family. Now, if your wife has a problem with your wanderous wick, whose problem's that? It's not Chris Eubank. Yeah? Chris Eubank, whatever he does with his wang isn't alleged to be wandering off into holes it shouldn't be in. That's your wick. Oops. Oh, my family, that's what I don't like people, yeah. And again, it's not like Liam Smith dropped one bar. He was giving it and giving it and giving it and feeling himself and feeling himself and feeling himself. And that's fine to do. But it's like horses for courses, trust me. If I'm in that situation and you see me giving out like that and someone pulls out a card that was kind of left field, what can you do? Suck it up. Yeah? Next time, that's the thing. You have to know the lane you're in. You have to know your lane. Yeah? Wait there a minute. Do I have any in it? What does this guy... Is there anything potentially messy about me? Don't throw... Old saying. Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. This guy Liam was like... all night. It wasn't just one. He was going back to back to back to back like it was a comedy show. It looked to me like... I didn't think this was a boxing fight. The way Liam Smith was lyricking off, I thought it was a live stand-up comedy show. And my man Eubank was sitting at the front and just getting it all night. And then Eubank sat there, took it and bombed him. And, oh, it's not very fair talking about the family. Yeah, he hit a chord. Yeah, so think twice next time. But what the good thing about this is that Smith is going to be riled up. He's going to come wading forward. And I actually think that works perfectly for the... Because the great thing is, and Roy Jones Jr. said it, Eubank can do both now. Eubank was not great, but Eubank can stalk and rattle shots off, and now he can backpedal. So, I mean, it's not like, for example, Eubank versus Canelo. Yeah? Eubank versus Canelo, you ain't going to hear me saying Eubank can backpedal and Eubank can tangle, because Eubank can't tangle. Canelo will punch a hole through Eubank, in my opinion, until he runs out of gas after 6 rounds. Yeah, but as far as Beefy goes, I don't think Beefy's got the pop coming up from 154 to be that dangerous. I think Eubank can do this any way he wants, really. But I'd advise to marinate him. I think Eubank needs to be fainting, pop. Yeah, faint, pop. Just all night, faint, pop. Yeah, just give him 100%. Give him a Jimmy Savile. That's what I believe. Eubank needs to give this cat to Jimmy Savile. Yeah, faint Jimmy Savile. Touch him all over. 100%. One of them ones. Yeah, get 100%. You need to give one of them old school. Listen, Eubank need to go in there and give my man one of them old school 1970s Savile ones. Yeah, one of them, all of them one, all over the place. Just touch him 100%. That's what I think coming for this guy, Beefy. Because Beefy, he's got good defense, but he's too tight with it. And when you're too tight, when someone's got a low guard and you're hunched over, it's just, you're just easy to touch, especially the bigger man. Although Eubank isn't as tall as I thought he was. Obviously, the taller you are, the easier it is. It's a bit like Fury versus Chisora, really, is what I'm talking about here. That's how silly it looks when someone's coming forward against someone who's longer and boxing. You just look silly getting what Tyson Fury did to Chisora. That's what I call the Savile treatment. Yeah, he didn't know whether he was coming or going. Yeah, straight into the old creepy caravan, and that's the end of that. 100%. Anyway, let me know your thoughts. Smash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. 100%. No doubt about it.